Hello everybody. I'm doing a recorded evening this evening. It's actually the middle of the day, 5 to 12, beautiful sunshine. And I'm going to start out with a very lovely hymn. This week my aunt and uncle David and Daphne Brown celebrated 58 years of marriage. And one of the hymns which they had at their wedding was Love Divine. And my uncle David requested it to be sung to the tune by Stainer, Love Divine, and perhaps not what we usually sing it to Blind Worm, but Love Divine by Stainer. So here is one of the hymns which they had at their wedding 58 years ago this week. Glorious hymn, glorious tune. And I was at the wedding, but I was only 4 years old, just over 4. So I don't remember much about it. I remember a little bit more from before, when my uncle and auntie were courting, I suppose. And I do remember David built his own little sports car, built it from scratch and put it all together. And I do remember my brother Julian and I riding in the back of that. It was green. And there's also a story about, I think that something to do with a haircut, not dissimilar to mine, I suppose. That I think my mother challenged my uncle and said, well, he wouldn't get his hair cut that short or get a crew cut, and next thing he did. I'm not entirely sure my aunt was very happy, but there we go. I seem to remember that such a long time ago, 58 years of marriage, and of course that incident would have taken place before. So I don't think you're getting all of my face, are you? Oh, let's move that a little bit more. I've been tinkering about this week, trying to make things better. Anyway, moving on now to hymn 200. And my father, of course, played for the wedding, of course, at Quench Well. So, dear little chapel, a dear little one manual organ. Now, next hymn is 285. No, it's not. It's 258. Got me numbers the wrong way round. 258. So let's do 258. I knew when I was looking it up that something wasn't right. I got the numbers the wrong way round. Request from Colin, who's had a bit of a time away down at the Lizard. But I don't think I've played Jesu, thou joy of loving hearts. Fount of life, thou light of men. The tune is by William Knapp, who was born in Wareham, hence the name of the tune I'm going to play for this, Wareham. And the words are translated from 12th century psalmody by Ray Palmer. Who was in actual fact an American pastor, and he died age 79. He had 3 strokes in 4 years. So thanks to Colin for that bit of background. He also wrote, Ray Palmer also wrote, My faith looks up to thee. Perhaps we'll have that another evening. Anyway, here we go with Jesu, thou joy of loving hearts. So the tune Wareham. Lovely tune, a lovely place. It's a while since I've been there. And yes, I can't quite remember when I was there last. Somewhere to go back to. And now we're going to move to 557. And it so happens my choice of this hymn has come in a sort of roundabout fashion. Many of you remember Alison Spence from our Truro Methodist Church choir, and as a singer and a great choir librarian, and was a steward at church and all sorts of things. We have a little sort of joke that when Alison left, it took 5 people to cover the bits and pieces which she did in choir, not only as being the librarian, but recording all the music which we sing, and that job's been taken over by somebody else. And there are various bits and pieces which Alison did. And just so happens she's on leave this week and is travelling around her native Scotland, and she lives in Ayrshire, and has visited Irvine this week. And the link to the next hymn is Irvine was the birthplace of the writer of the hymn, James Montgomery. And there is a street named after him, Montgomery. There he has a street title after him. And he was born in 1771. You can see that. His father was a Moravian minister. Now, Alison's always very thorough with details and background. She is an archivist. If you don't know what an archivist is, it's somebody who looks at records, stores them, archives them, and catalogues them. It's a very interesting kind of job, because you never know what you're going to come across. And she has dealt with pieces of paper which are ages old and absolutely beautiful when she worked here in the county records office. So she sent me quite a lot of information. I won't read all of it to you, but it's James Montgomery had quite a history to him. His father was a Moravian minister, and the family went to Ireland, and James attended a Moravian seminary near Leeds. His parents went to the West Indies as missionaries. James was apprenticed to a baker, then worked for a chandler near Wakefield, clerk and bookkeeper for the Sheffield Register, and lots of things. James wrote poetry throughout his life. He wrote over 400 hymns. James, during his lifetime, became the editor of the Sheffield Iris, and he did speak up for social justice, championing the cause of the abolition for slavery, and also, not apart from abolishing slavery, but teaching reading and writing in Sunday schools, an end to the use of the children as chimney sweeps, and other local national issues which of the day were important. As a result, he got imprisoned twice for writing and publishing content which the authorities considered libelous even. James joined the Wesleyan Methodist Society, but later transferred to the Anglican Church. So a lot of history there, and wonderful to hear all about this and find out a bit more about these people that were writing the hymns. He obviously, whether he met Charles or John Wesley, which we'll never know, I suppose, but in their travels they might have come across each other. There's a statue erected to him in Sheffield. He was widely respected there as a poet and a philanthropist. I can't speak today. And there's a statue for him, erected to him in his memory. So there we are, but quite a fascinating life. So thank you to Alison for that history. I've had to condense it a little bit, but there we are. And I'm going to play 557, Prayer is the Soul's Sincere Desire. I'm going to play it to the first tune, which I know by Calkin, Nox Processit. It can be sung to the tune Ayrshire, which is 539, but it's not a particularly remarkable tune. And I think this is the tune I've always known it to, so we'll go with that for today. So James Montgomery from Irvine in Ayrshire, writing there, obviously at a troubled time, abolition of slavery, trying to get Sunday schools to teach reading and writing and all those sorts of things going on at that time. Probably a turbulent time as well, especially if he got thrown into prison on 2 occasions. He obviously took things very seriously. So now to a hymn which Daphne and David, the other hymn that they had at their wedding, Auntie said she couldn't remember what music they had. I did play the wedding march earlier in the week. But thou God of truth and love, we seek thy perfect way. Now I do remember playing this the other day, but I thought, well, I don't think it'll hurt to do it again. So here we are, thou God of truth and love. Yes, a lovely wedding hymn, lovely words. I can't think the last time I played it at a wedding service. Over the years things have changed, and couples getting married, often they stick to something that they've sung at school almost. So there we go. But lovely choice of words for a wedding indeed. So moving further on in the book to 821. Find the right page. And it's another hymn by Montgomery. There are several in the book. I said he wrote 400, and there are several in our book to the tune Nativity, and It's a well-known tune, but the words perhaps may not be as well known. I really can't speak today. Sing we the song of those who stand around the eternal throne, of every kindred, clime and land, a multitude unknown. Lovely poetry to the tune Nativity by Lahi. Context of John Montgomery and the life he led as a philanthropist against slavery and teaching children in Sunday schools to read and write. Possibly some of that is reflected in those words there. So I'm going to finish this session with "Oh Perfect Love," which I've often thought some lovely words, and well, suitable for a wedding as well, this one. Tuned by Barnaby and the words by Dorothy Francis Gurney. Keep your requests coming in. It's, as I say, it's always good to have requests. I have a list prepared for Harvest Festival hymns, but I keep requests coming in. I've got quite a list. It will be over probably 2 sessions. Those of you that keep up to date on Facebook and various things may have seen that there could be a change in what Facebook are allowing to be streamed, and live music for one. There have been lots of infringements over copyright, and so they are cutting down. It's always been the way, but they seem to be cutting down slightly. And I saw something yesterday which sort of alarmed me and thought, I don't think I'm going to be able to continue playing these hymns using the Facebook medium. But then I read a later article which suggested that might not be the case. But it's no big deal, because I can do the same across YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. If you can get Facebook, then you can get YouTube. So I'm hoping I'm not going to be disappearing off the airwaves just yet. But just something to bear in mind, really. Things keep changing. It's been a great medium for getting music out, and I know a lot of us are depending upon it. Certainly I am with the choir, and I can keep in contact and play some hymns for you. So it's a great tool. Has its place, I think. It's not always the best, especially if you send out wrong information, but let's not worry too much about that. So but I'll let you know what's going to happen. It won't be difficult to go to YouTube if Facebook say, no Phil, we're not going to let you do any more hymns, but we'll see. Probably with an American accent, I suppose. Anyway, we're going to finish off this evening with this session 370, O perfect love, or human thought transcending. A little, I well remember, the only time I remember Father saying, don't do that. I decorated the hymn in a particular way. Got a bit some florid arpeggios, and he really didn't approve, and he told me, and I thought, yes, I think you're absolutely right. So I haven't done it again. There we are. Take care, and as always, God bless.